welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then my name is Siobhan and I am a mother to one, our beautiful little girl Ava, who has just turned 18 months today. And that is exactly what today's vlog is all about. This is Ava's 18-month update. To start off with, Ava's behaviour. So, Ava's tantrums, I would say they have maybe peaked, but I don't know for sure. I think maybe they peaked a few weeks ago, and if you follow me on my Instagram, then you will know, if you watch my stories and you see my posts, you will know that she does tantrum quite regularly, and they kind of did get to maybe a point where she kind of realised that she wasn't going to get anywhere with her tantrums. That doesn't mean to say that she doesn't tantrum anymore, but I feel she has kind of learnt to harness that anger a little bit, and the tantrums don't seem to be as severe and they don't seem to last as long. The way I deal with it personally, I just take her into the living room where it's carpeted, I lie her down and I just let her thrash it out. And it might seem a bit cruel, like not to sort of, you know, cuddle her and tell her it's okay, because 9 times out of 10 she doesn't want me to cuddle her. She wants me away from her, she wants to hit me, she wants to pinch me, she wants to bite me. So I am just her punch bag, really. So I find the best way for her to deal with it, and for me to deal with it, is to just let her thrash it out on the carpet. And normally she's done in around about 5 to 10 minutes. But she has been known to go for about half an hour. So on the flip side of that, Ava is becoming a real sweetheart. She is becoming so loving. She's giving cuddles, she's giving kisses, she's, you know, picking her baby up and she's treating her little dolly like a real baby. She's cuddling it, she's feeding it. So that's been really nice to see that kind of development coming along as well. Up until now, she's always been quite kind of fidgety. She wants to be up doing things all the time, but recently she's just been taking the time as well just to come and sit with you on the sofa and just chill. I think it's really nice just to spend that quiet time with her, just bonding, just having a kiss and a cuddle, and it's just, you know, nice and peaceful. So, development. I mean in terms of physical development, not necessarily talking about how bloody big she's getting, more on the side of what she's able to do with her body. So when Ava turned 1, she had just learnt to walk literally about 2 weeks beforehand. She was still a little bit kind of jiggly on her legs, a bit wobbly, but now she is so confident with walking. She's running, she can jump, she dances, she is really good at balance. So if she's trying to lean up and get something, she's on her tippy toes, she's really good with that. During bedtime, we like to read Ava books. She has such a fascination with books, and in particular, she loves books with animals in. She loves Dear Zoo. She can't get enough of Dear Zoo, and that's one of the lift and flap books if you're not aware of it. And you literally just go through the book and you open the cages to all the different animals and see what's inside. Ava is now learning how to make the noises of the animals as well, so things like lion, monkey, dog, and she can associate noises to those animals. For me, it's just so cool because I'm thinking to myself, like, she's only 18 months and she's learning so much at such a quick pace, and I created this. So talking and communication. Ava is coming along quite nicely with her talking. She is always chatting to herself. So obviously to us it's just gobbledygook, but to her she is having a full-on conversation. Sometimes in the shower she'll be chatting away to herself. Sometimes when you put her down for a nap she'll chat for about half an hour before she goes down. She is just talking all the time. She is picking up words. She can say dog, she can say trolls, she can say mama, she says daddy. She is getting to that point now where if you say something to her and you try and get her to repeat it, she is actually trying. You can see her mouth trying to make the shape of the word, and she's really trying to force that word out. It doesn't obviously come out perfect, but she is trying nonetheless. Her latest word is shoes. So when I say go get your shoes or let's put your shoes on, it's shoes, shoes. And that's just so cute. If Ava wants something, she normally points to it and just says, yeah, yeah. And 9 times out of 10, if you're not reacting fast enough to what Princess Ava wants, she then turns yeah to a yeah, like that. And it's, yeah, that happens a lot during the day. That doesn't mean that we are just running around after her grabbing her things, because we are trying to teach her that she has to be patient and she has to wait for certain things and that she doesn't always get her own way. So you have to take the rough with the smooth with that one, I think. Let's talk about teeth. Now, Ava has pretty much all of her teeth now, apart from her top fangs and her bottom fangs. Is that what they're called? Are they called something else? I know the top ones are fangs, but the bottom ones are like the opposite ones. You know which ones I'm talking about. And then her back molars, which I know actually don't come through until she's over 2. So those ones, we've got a little bit longer to wait. These ones, any day now. So teeth leads us quite nicely onto eating. Now with Ava's eating, we were a little bit kind of, well, it was me. I really wanted to make sure that Ava was getting food. So when we weaned her, I just spoon fed her for a very long time. I don't know whether that was because I was a little bit kind of controlling and I just wanted to know that she was getting food in her system so she wasn't going to starve. And possibly the fear of her choking. I've just got a real fear of her one day putting something in her mouth and turning blue. I just think about it every day. It's like, it's an irrational fear, but it's a fear nonetheless. So to minimize the chances of that, I would spoon feed her. When she got to around about 15 months, we then decided to try and get her to spoon feed herself. We were still pureeing food down, not to the extent of what we did when we first weaned her, but we were still blitzing her meat down, blitzing her potatoes down. So we stopped doing that. And when she got some bigger teeth through, we thought, right, let's call it a day with the blitzing of the food. She can now chew, so let's put her teeth to some practice and we will stop blitzing and we will give her chunks of food. So what we did was just cut it right down for her, so it was nice and easy for her to pick up with a spoon, pick up with her hands, or stab it with a fork. So now she is having breakfast, lunch and dinner, and she's feeding herself all 3 meals, and I couldn't be prouder. Her taste varies every single day. She is literally moving the goalposts all the time. So one day she will like pancakes, the next day she doesn't want to know pancakes, she now wants yogurt. It's just, yeah. That doesn't mean to say that we try her with everything in one sitting. If she doesn't want to eat something, that's it. We just say, okay, if you're not hungry, you're not getting anything else. Otherwise, we will be ransacking the fridge and just wasting food. So yes, she is a big drinker though. She must go through about 6 or 7 bottles a day of juice alone, and then she has her milk at morning, at nap time and at night time as well. So she is heavy on the drink. Let's talk about sleeping. When Ava had turned 1, she was still not sleeping through the night. A lot of it had to do with teething, a lot of it had to do with the fact she was still having milk during the night, so we did wean her off that gradually. And then she had her very last leap, which lasted for well over a month, and it was pretty bad then as well. You know, her brain was on overload, and yeah, she woke up a lot. Most nights now we get about 8 or 9 hours straight from her until she wakes up sort of 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I think that might be to do because it's getting so light early on. And then she just climbs into bed with us and has a couple more hours before we then all get up. So how is Daddy? So I thought to myself, with an 18-month update, let's not just talk about Ava, let's talk about us as parents, because obviously things change in our lives as well. So let's talk about my husband, Guy. So Guy obviously works away a lot in Devon because he is in the Royal Marines. When he is home, it is kind of a bit like me dropping the reins a little bit and letting him take over, which is fantastic. Lately we sadly haven't seen a lot of Guy because he has been working so much and he has been working on weekends. So he arrived home yesterday and it's been 2.5 weeks without him, and he's home for a few days and then he goes back. It's not, you know, it's something that we are used to as a family and we do adjust to it. It is obviously nice just to have him home for long chunks of time. He misses us a lot and we try to FaceTime and call each other every single day. Ava, she can be a little bit strange with it. She doesn't really sort of take to him when he's on FaceTime, but I don't know whether she understands Daddy's all of a sudden on the screen and not in the room. It can be a little bit confusing for her, I think, sometimes. And obviously at that age as well, she can't really grasp the concept of time. So for her, 2.5 weeks must feel like a lifetime. So it is nice when Guy comes home because it's almost like a little surprise for her. All of a sudden she's got Mum and Dad with her, and she loves it. She loves spending time with the both of us. She loves Guy to pieces, and it's just so nice to see them bond again when he's back. And it must be really hard for him. It would be really hard for me to spend that much time away from her. So I think at times I don't really understand, and I kind of get cross because I'm just talking about me all the time. I'm thinking, oh, you know, I'm on my own, but I have to kind of teach myself to look at it from his perspective as well and see it from, you know, his point of view, how difficult it can be, I think. So yeah, but he is amazing, he is great, he's a great dad, and Ava's extremely lucky. Finally, how is Mummy? Well, how is Mummy? How have things changed in the past 6 months from her first birthday? Well, it has been very difficult, and I think why it's been difficult is because obviously Ava is now walking. She's got so much energy and so much inquisitiveness about her. I have to be on her tail all of the time, and it can be really exhausting. And if she gives you a bad couple of nights, then the next 3 to 4 days you're playing catch up with sleep. You're trying to run a household and look after a child and look after yourself on barely any sleep, and barely any energy. And I think around the start of this year I had kept quiet about how I'd felt in the past sort of months leading up to Ava's birthday, and I hadn't said anything to anybody. I was really struggling, and I think I was really struggling in terms of my mood, and I felt quite lethargic a lot. I didn't want to do anything. I spent a lot of time just lying on the sofa, and Ava would sorry. Okay. I don't know why I'm crying. It's ridiculous. Okay. I spent a lot of time not really wanting to go out. I spent days where I just lie on the sofa and Ava would just play in the living room, and I just couldn't find my God. I just found it really difficult to, oh God. I just found it really difficult to find my get up and go. I felt like I was the complete opposite person from when I had Ava to now. I was always like a really energetic outdoorsy person, and I kind of felt that over the months and not having any sleep and really struggling with, I'm really snotty now all of a sudden, really struggling with being by myself during the week, it kind of got on top of me, and I felt like if I couldn't keep up with things like the housework and I couldn't keep up with her, then I wasn't juggling life properly, and it kind of did get to the point where it was like beating me. It was getting on top of me, and so I ended up going to the doctors. They'd asked me how long I'd been feeling this way, and it was for a long time. I'd sort of kept it in for a long time because I didn't want people to think I was failing as a mum, and that's so ridiculous to think about it now, and to think about it as failing, because being a mum is like the hardest thing you could ever do, and it is the hardest thing I'm doing, and you can't fail at it. You can struggle at times, but you can never fail to be a mum. Anyway, besides the point. So I'd gone to the doctors to say, you know, listen, I'm not feeling right. This isn't how I have felt before. It's weirding me out a little bit. It's not me. And they kind of went down two routes. So they took my bloods, and they basically said to me, what is it that you want from us? You know, do you want to go on medication, or do you want to try and maybe switch up your lifestyle a little bit, see if that makes any changes, any difference? So I did change things gradually. It was baby steps. It was taking the dog out for a walk every couple of days, because it got to the point where I didn't want to take the dog out. I didn't even want to go down the shop and get milk, because it meant that I had to get dressed. It meant that I had to go out and show my face and talk to people. Just didn't want to do it. Just did not want to do it. So I did change my lifestyle. I did start going out. I did start taking the dog out again. I got back in contact with the girls in the village that I'd lost contact with, and then I thought, I actually want to do something for me, something that I can get creative with, something that I can really get my teeth into and focus on something daily. And here I am. This is what I've created. I have created my YouTube channel. I have made something from nothing, and I am so incredibly proud of it. It's so comforting to know that there are other mothers out there who have felt the way I have felt, or are feeling the way that I felt. And don't get me wrong, I do have my days where I still feel, down. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's almost like a little bit of a shadow kind of behind you, and you think to yourself, oh gosh, is it going to creep up on me again? Is it going to pull me down again? But you have to just put it to the back of your mind. You have to just keep going. You have to just keep pushing yourself to focus on something more positive. So creating Fresh Handmade Mama has really just put light back into my life again, and it's really making me feel a lot more positive about things. It's given me a creative outlet, and the whole mummy vlogger community is just amazing. And I just want to take this 1 second to say thank you so much to everybody who has supported this, who has subscribed to my channel, who has liked my videos, who has commented, who has sent me messages on Instagram, who has liked photos and posts and whatnot on Instagram, and who have given me that boost, given me that kind of kick up the arse that I needed to get back on track and feel like, not the old me, because I don't think that's possible anymore, but feel like a new me, if that makes sense. I feel so much better for getting that off my chest. Oh, I'm sorry I cried. So this has been Ava's 18-month update, brackets mummy's update as well. She has come along in leaps and bounds, and I'm so excited for the next 6 months to come. I'm really hoping you've enjoyed it. If you've got any questions or any comments, then please don't hesitate to pop them below. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, then please do. The button is under here somewhere, so click that and join our little family. And of course, if you have liked this video, then give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week.